It's the last chance for Worlds. The pressure is definitely on us right now, and we just have to perform. There's nothing else to it.
To be able to bring it back and actually go to Worlds would be amazing for us, considering our pretty terrible season.
이번 기회를 놓치면 정말 다음 스프링까지 쉬어야 되는 거니까 월드컵 하는 게 엄청 중요해요.
Cloud9 are moving on, able to come back from the 0-2 that Gravity put them in.
I think we can always come back from being down 0-2.
If we have to go to 5 games again, I'm fine doing that, but I much prefer shorter.
선발전에서 가장 무서운 상대가 신이에요.
Honestly, I was more afraid of Gravity than TFP. They're very predictable.
Another point of doing this is redeeming ourselves, being able to prove that we're still a good team and showing the world that.
We have to prove ourselves, I think, is the best way to put it.
The dream for Worlds is still alive.
Welcome to day 2 of the North American Regional Qualifiers, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. The crowd is absolutely pumped up and ready for games today as we continue the regional qualifier. Everyone lined up, waiting outside to get in and watch Cloud9 taking on their games today. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Cloud9 walking in right now, and Apollo and Gate go ahead, getting their bot lane synergy and mid lane synergy in as they nom down in some food to get ready for the games today. Hello, everyone. I am Rivington Bizen III, and helping me throw off Dash's Analyst Desk Reign of Terror. It's going to be Aiden Zyrene Moon and our special guest, Brandon St. Vicious DeMarco. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Down with Dash! No, I'm just kidding. No.
He's testing out the island right now, so we'll see if he's getting the coconuts, able to bring them down.
Making sure he's got that route down.
We're going through
but I think this is the first day Dash hasn't been on the desk.
We'll see how he does. It's going to be different for him. I'm sure he'll come back stronger than ever, though.
I love you, man.
So we want to take complete advantage, obviously, of having Saint on the desk. So we're going to press his expertise and solicit some questions with him today. So head over to Twitter and hit up Saint. You know how this works. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag AskSaint. We'll see if you can withstand your hard-hitting questions about game strategy, champion builds, or impending world championships. Maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something that could save your life out there on the Rift. Now, turning to the regional qualifier, let's start by pulling up the bracket to set the stage. Cloud9 got a slow start, but managed to pull off a reverse sweep to take down Gravity 3-2. Today, they face Team Impulse, and the winner then will have to get through Team Liquid. 1 boss down for Cloud9. 2 more to go. But it did not look like it was an easy boss to take down yesterday, and they're going to have harder.
Oh, yeah. They showed a lot of resilience, though, on Cloud9's side. Being able to reverse sweep 2-0 down, then able to come back. You have to be able to just shrug off those losses. They seemed very calm coming into Game 3, which you see there on your screen. And Cloud9, they have more experience playing on the big stage and in high-pressure situations than most teams in the league. They have been to Worlds multiple times, and they know what it's like to be down in games. So coming back for them just shows that they still have that resilience in the squad.
Right, and St. Vicious, Cloud9 had a few weeks of downtime off. You know, what stood out to you coming into these games, or last series, I should say?
I mean, really, the fact that they ran the Amumu Karma, of course, stood out. But I like the fact that they were able to adapt, you know, halfway through the series and like, okay, this isn't working for us. We need to change it up, and we need to move towards a different route. And they went with kind of the farm-heavy jungles for high, where we went with the Shyvana and the Kazakhs. And they just changed up their whole playstyle, and it worked out for them.
Do you feel like with the way that Cloud9 was playing it, there was room for the Amumu to work in that composition?
I mean, it's still Amumu at the end of the day. Like,
so what's that mean?
I mean, Amumu just... There's a reason that it's not played in competitive play. It just gets outpaced by every jungle. Like, the ganks are kind of wonky, and especially since it was the only engaged tool in Cloud9's team comp, it's like, once they get QSS or cleanse or anything like that, it's super difficult for the Amumu to just lock everybody up because there's no follow-up.
That's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, he wasn't using it appropriately as well. I have no mana! I have no flash! Like, a lot of things that went very wrong besides the composition. But there was things that were going right for Cloud9 as well. Incarnation actually had a really, really good series for himself. Nabbing player of the series, he stepped up in those games. And Incarnation is feeling very confident coming into these games today. And he said in his interview yesterday, he's not afraid to face anyone. And that, honestly, is especially understandable today because he's up against Gate. Gate is a guy who's very punishable in lane. Gate has not had these stellar performances. You put him on wave clears. They also run one-threat compositions that revolve around Apollo and not this guy in the mid lane. And you can see there, even his CS differential at 10, he averages down over all the games he's played so far. So Gate has been very underwhelming coming in, but replacing Xiao on short notice, I don't give him too much blame.
I think that's going to be the big deciding factor in the series, too. I think if they can't get Gate on some of the wave clear mids, like a Nazir or a Victor, and he has to go back to something like the Lulu or God knows what else he's playing, maybe Diana.
There's a lot in this series, though, because we've seen both mids play Diana, Victor, and Azir, and then Lulu is another thing that's up both these teams' sleeves. So coming into picks and bans, no mid laners completely bannable. They'll always have something up their sleeve.
Incarnation with Yasuo recently as well. They're trying to really change things up, but his assassins, what everybody was expecting him to play on, haven't actually been that strong. So
yeah, I like to see him on Orianna and things like that, too. I think that his control mages are actually a very good thing for Cloud9 to fall back on.
Yeah, and I think NA's seen enough Yasuo after the TSM performance on it. So.
We got Yasuo fever. I don't know why everybody's locking it in for just willy-nilly. It's not even a Yasuo composition half the time, too.
Yeah, I like it with the Gragas where you have like the whole setup on it and it's all just goes together really well. But some people are just like, oh, we'll just pick Yasuo. Like, why not?
And look good in that game, we can do it too. And we can maybe do it better. So for Team Impulse, there is a trip to Worlds on the line. So you know they were watching yesterday's series to take some notes on Cloud9. I mean, how could you not be?
Well, I mean, I got a tweet that Rush wasn't watching and actually playing solo queue. But
call me a liar.
That aside, Cloud9 showed a very diverse playbook. And while one of the criticisms against Team Impulse was that they were one-dimensional in playoffs, they did try to make some adjustments for their third-place match against Liquid. But it's still the same formula at the end of the day. It's a one-threat composition around Apollo. You put impact on a tank. You have Rush on a champion that tries to affect the early game, and then Adrian is just playing some type of disengage or helpful support. Wave clear mid, and that's the thing is there's so much on Apollo's shoulders here, and the question is, did Team Impulse reveal all their cards, or have they been able to cook up something specific for Cloud9? Have they been able to run multi-threat compositions, whether it's Gate, whether it's putting impact on a top lane carry like Gangplank?
Yeah, I want to see Impact playing. I mean, he used to play a lot of Rumble, and he used to carry really hard on that champion. And I also want to see him maybe on a Gangplank. Like, I feel like just with the dynamic that TIP has now, where Gate's not exactly... Before they had Zhao Wei Zhao, it's like, oh yeah, he's just going to come into the mid-late game. He's going to have a million CS. He'll show up and he'll do some damage. But I don't really think you can count on Gate being that consistent factor. So you need to use your strong points and just go with the fact that Rush and Impact have such great synergy, and they just go off and carry the game through that.
And that's another lane I want to look at quick. We're talking about Gate and Incarnation, but that's quickly affected by Rush and High. And how do you think that matchup is going to go, being a jungler yourself?
I don't know how to say it nicely. But I mean, Rush is like way more aggressive to play against, and if you're not ready for it, then he'll just run you over. So I think if High tries to play this farmy playstyle where you just have Shyvana or Kha'Zix, and those champions are not the greatest duelers in the early game if you get caught out, and I think they can punish it really hard.
Right. And at Madison Square Garden, Rush did say that they were ready to go to Worlds, but as a third seed, if we had more time. So how do you prepare for a player like High? I know you kind of just asked you this, but now that he can go for the Kha'Zix, the Shyvana, almost play a solo queue style, how do you fight against that?
I mean, you know, Rush is he was like rank 1. I don't think he's rank 1 anymore. He's like rank 3, but he understands.
No.
He knows. Yeah. Oh no. But I think he understands like how to play a little bit around the solo queue cheese and stuff. And I mean, he plays the full DPS Evelynn. He'll play like the DPS Lee Sin. I mean, he knows how to play some solo queue cheese too. So yeah. I think maybe he'll just meet cheese
at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you have to watch out for that though, because yesterday High depended on his farming, right? And Rush is such a disruptive jungler to the flow of the game. He tries to get it going in his favor immediately. And High's not going to get the time of day to just sit there and farm his camps. Right. Rush is going to gank your lanes. He's not going to be Move who just sits around and tries to ward, and did go for some ganks, but Rush is going to be that times 10.
Yeah, and I think just the fact that Move fell behind so far in just the CSing. I mean, he was like trying to play damage control and protect all his lanes, but while he's doing all that, he's just falling so far behind in farm, it doesn't matter. And they just went into team fights, and he just got outscaled. So I don't think that Rush is going to let that happen to himself.
Yeah. So looking at picks and bans coming into this one quickly before we throw it over, Soraka actually came out as kind of a what was this Adrian over at Madison Square Garden. Do you think Cloud9 is going to be affected by that at all, or overlook it, use their bans for other lanes?
I don't know. I think they're going to ban out Nidalee. I think that's one of Rush's best champions.
Right.
Yeah,
Focus
Nidalee
Rush's
out.
champion pool. I think Azir is also going to have to be a ban from the red side in this series. And Soraka, I don't know, maybe Lemon's been playing it. Lemon plays a lot of crazy things, right? He had the Karma, which didn't really work out too well, but I don't know if it's actually going to be that highly contested. Maybe it'll come up as a ban because they haven't prepared for it, and that's something you don't want to throw in the strategy. But that's if you have that ban available, because you might have to be banning more and more.
I think the Shen's going to be something that comes up.
True.
I mean, you have to worry about the Shen Eve combo that they can pull off, and I think that's like one of TIP's strongest team comps. And they can just snowball the game completely out of control. And Shen's impacts, it's his best champion by far. So.
Yeah, and TIP also has to worry about banning Kalista, because Apollo's not a very big Kalista player, but Sneaky, on the other hand, is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. That Shen was also picked up by Balls yesterday. He was nice effect. So as we send it over to our casters to kick off the games, Incarnation says he doesn't expect many surprises from Team Impulse and is feeling confident in the matchup.
Honestly, I was more afraid of Gravity than TIP, personally speaking, because it's much harder to draft against Gravity, I feel like, because of their picks. It seems like TIP is a team that doesn't really have many different styles they play, so they're very predictable.